Testing 1 2, testing 1 2. I think that balance is good. Anyone in the chat can let me know if the something's too low. Got a last minute stream tonight just because I had some cool water samples from the local zoo that I wanted to look at and haven't had a chance to look at it till now. And it's already 1 in the morning, so this will be a quick one, maybe an hour max. So this is just some fragments of freshwater plants in the one of the water features at the zoo. It's a little artificial waterfall rolling down into another water feature. So I collected from 4 different sites, and let's see what we can find. It's the coolest thing that popped up right away just because the lattice structure is really intricate, and there are some little critters swimming through it. They're very small, so I probably won't be zooming in on them, but you can see them in the background a little bit. I'll have to adjust the sensitivity here a little bit, so you can see little white particle guys swimming around in the background, little flagellates most likely. But yeah, pretty cool little lattice structure there. I'll go 1 more level just to see what's what. Now this is fairly layered, so I have to focus a lot to go all the way through it. But you can see the individual cells connecting. Little nodes there, forming rings. Let me go over here a little bit. Hey, Teeny. No worries. It was a last minute thing. I didn't really plan it well today, but this stream will be up. And I'll probably maybe do another one tomorrow if the water samples are fresh. So thanks for popping in. Got some nice chlorophyll in those cells there. Chloroplast structures. Let's go back to dark fields a little bit. At least some oblique lighting, you can see the details pop a little bit. Change exposure a tad. So yeah, no action there, just something to look at that's different. Let's go back to low power, as you can see how the fragment looks like. There you go. Now let's go look for some critters of some sort. Looks like this might be Let's see what this is. There's a diatom structure to it, but it might just be a fragment of something. Let's go a little bit closer. Oh yeah. Definitely a diatom. Look at that reef structure there. It's like a fine-tooth comb. And you can see the yellowish structure of their pigments for photosynthesis. They're different than the green of the plant I just showed earlier. Let's change that exposure a little bit. Change that a little bit there. So you see that fine toothing throughout the structure of the silica shell, going across the longitudinal line there. So it's just a whole, just like a toothing on a comb. Yeah, some oil droplets in there, all the typical stuff you see inside diatoms. This is a really long, thin one. I haven't seen this one before, but this isn't fresh water. So this will be different than the ones I had from the salt marsh. Interesting. Let's go back out and see what else we got here. More light. Plant fragments. There's a little flagellate bouncing around. A couple of them there. But they're pretty small. Can't imagine what I'll see at this level. Let's see. Where'd you go, guys? Focus through, or do they move? Looks like they moved. Ooh, what's this guy? Like a piece of something, or something that got squashed a little bit. Keep looking. Lots of pieces of things. The cover slip got broken there. Look at that glass. It's really fragmented there. Let me zoom this one out a bit. Oh, no, that is zoomed out. Okay. You can really see that chip in the glass there. More junk. Junk. Yeah, this water sample isn't so good so far. Keep looking. find anything. Lots of plant parts. Nothing animated. A whole bunch of it bunched up on the end there. What's that? Is that? It's an interesting little green guy there, but it's very, very small. Lots of pieces of things, but not a whole lot of substance. Interesting chip in the glass there. Pretty detailed for a very thin piece of glass. Yep. No real action on this slide. That's a wash. I was gonna make 2 per bottle, but in this case I'm gonna do just 1 for that guy. That was a wash. Let's go on to sample number 2, which is in the tank of African cichlid fishies, which might be interesting. They're beautiful little fishes, but let's see what they got in the water. We got some movement, but that's just water settling out. And compression of the cover slip. But I imagine there'll be better stuff in here since it came from a tank with all kinds of little living fishies in it. Let's fix this exposure. It's way too dim. There we go. See what we can find. Some of these little colorful blobs may actually be fish feces. You never know. Might even get a scale on here or something. Hey Paul, how's it going? Sorry I'm behind in the chat. Yeah, thanks Teeny. Glad you can join. Paul had to go to bed. I don't blame him because It's late for me as well, but I wanted to get this in while those samples are fresh, because keeping them in the fridge, they can last for a while, but I wanted to make sure I didn't lose any delicate critters that might be in here. I've kept some specimens for a while, and you end up getting a lot more bacteria and a lot more other kind of weird conditions that it's not representative of a fresh sample. That's why I'm hanging in there doing a quick one tonight. Oops, hold on 1 second. I got a low battery warning, just be right back. Close call. Forgot to plug in the power adapter. Battery almost died on the laptop. Alright, so where were we here? Sample number 2. Nothing, just plant debris. Nothing. I'm hoping the last sample will be very good, because the place it was collected is one of the best, it created one of the best slides I've ever seen in my entire life, with, I don't know, at least 15 different species of stuff on it, and some really good ones too. A lot of the classics: Paramecium, amoeba, what do you call them? Boy, my brain is fried right now. There was some Euplodes on there. There was, I believe I had some Vorticella on there even. It was a crazy ass slide. Okay, so this first one's pretty boring. Let's hope for the next one being a little better. Sample 2. Yeah, the other one had like gastrotrix, all kinds of stuff on it. It was a really crazy slide. Alright. Nothing too interesting so far. So I got another little diatom there, but I already caught one earlier. A diatom there, similar to the one I saw before. A few things, but nothing groundbreaking here. A lot of plant debris, bits and pieces. That's on top of the cover slip, it looks like. Way up there. More random bits of debris. Standing out there. I'll take a quick look. It's a little transparent. What is going on there? A cluster of something. We're going to do a quick digital zoom just to save a step here. Let's see what we got here. but some interesting little shapes down there. Clustered together. Push it one more. Yeah, got a little cluster of green algae there. Some more light on this guy. Let's do another digital zoom cheat just to get a little more power. I don't want to go. This is already, we're not quite. Yeah, already 400 power. This is pretty small. There's a little flagellate swimming in the background there. So I'm going to do a digital zoom so I don't have to go to oil. This oil is just messy unless I really need to use it. And let's change the focus a bit. There's some nice little algae. And I put a little too much water on the slide, so if I move too much, it does shake the table and make the water slosh around a bit. Sample one, and usually if I knew it wasn't going to be very interesting where I collected it, but I tried it anyway. It was running water, fresh water, and most likely nothing really hung out there, so it was just a quick shot. I was doing a longer stream, I'd spend more time per sample, but I'm trying to concentrate on the samples that should be more fruitful. So yeah, I got some little algae there, that's kind of nice. And those little flagellates somewhere in the background. Seems to have left. And just some debris. So it's a little bit of color, but nothing earth-shattering. So let's go back to this guy. A more dark field on this. And do a little more searching. More fragments of stuff. Too much digital zoom. I'm going to go out here. Okay. Alright. Nice air bubble, almost like space art. Lots of air bubbles on this one. Little bits of junk. Yeah, plant debris again. Interesting shapes, but nothing happening here. Although I do like those little squiggly bits there, that's kind of cool. Little tendrils. A lot of stuff to focus through. Definitely put too much water on this slide. And some of the, you can see the cover slip, I reused a couple of these cover slips. I was in a hurry to clean them so they're not 100% spotless. There's some debris from previous shows where the stuff is dried on there, but it's okay. It's not really affecting the image. Just makes a little more smudge, see those smudges on there. Barely show up in this light. There you go, I see the smudges. But it's okay. This is a quick and dirty show. Alright, nothing on that one. So I gave that one 2 tries. Let's skip to the next one, which should be a whole lot better. Sample number 3. This is from a pond with flamingos and spoonbills and whistling ducks, and occasionally a hammerkop shows up once in a while. These different birds, even a peacock lingers around there once in a while, as well as whatever wild birds fly in for the moment. So tends to have a lot of interesting stuff living there or brought in from. Not a lot of birds get in because they have a netting around the zoo, but I think these really small birds tend to get in through the net. I forgot if that's true or not, but let's see what we can see. Where's my edge? Oops. Forgot that. Damn, cover soap is kind of dirty. Worse than the ones I already cleaned. This is one right out of a clean box. And it's already got some smudges on it. Let's see if that's any better. Okay. A little too much water again, but it's okay. Yeah, that was a smudge. Still smudgy. Look at that. Shameful. But I'll continue to look. See if there's anything in there. Boy, that thing really didn't. This thing came right out of the damn box. It has smudgies on it. Luckily, there's nothing in here. I'm not missing anything. Let's do that again. That's not good. That is no good. Up. Clean that stupid cover glass. That's better. Let's see how that looks. Okay. From sample 3. Hopefully this looks better. Oh yeah, much better. Much better. Not perfect, but better. Through all the layers, make sure there's nothing missing. And some more plant debris. No swimmers. I mean, they do clean this pond fairly often, so I would expect to find a few things. Looks like my saving grace is little diatoms in there, nothing from before. It was different. Sample 4, I think, will be the winner. It's gotta be. This is the one that was good last time, about a year ago when I got some of these samples from there. Let's see. I'll make a few of this one because this one should be good. Fingers crossed. Move these out of the way. Okay, already have more motion going on here. Oh yeah, look at that. Oh, that's nice. Beautiful. I think that's an amphileptus. Let's go dark field a little bit more there. Let's fix this exposure a little bit. I'm gonna have to go in. That's actually pretty big. That was on 40 power. Let's fix this guy up. Oh, I think it's a blepharisma. Yeah, it's a blepharisma. It's got the color, it's got the striations. Beautiful. Very nice. Look at that. I knew that thing wouldn't let me down. It was the best place to get samples ever. You can see it kind of turning up the edge a little bit as it's moving around. It kind of curls up the edge like it's raising up off the glass. Yeah, classic blepharisma. Striations, kind of a brownish, purplish color. You can see it's got some stuff it ate there. It's kind of reddish in the middle there, some food vacuoles. And then you can see the contractile vacuoles pumping here and there. There's at least two of them at the back end that are coming and going. Contractile vacuoles. Beautiful. I have to defocus to see the cilia. Let me try a little bit different lighting for fun. Because they're so beautiful. Look at that. It's pretty squishy too. Not as squishy as a euglena, but so it's got kind of a fat section that keeps kind of squishing backward and forward. Oh, now it's on the move. Ah, get back here. Yeah, you might be the only one here. Everyone else is asleep or not aware I'm even doing a stream, probably. Oh boy, now he's straightening out, getting nice and thin. Got a place to go. Now he's going on profile. Whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. There he is. That's a problem with getting too close to some of these guys. They start getting really active. And it's this crazy video game. Keeps turning that upper part of the cell up a little bit. It's interesting how it's doing that behavior. Boy, he's really on the move. Come on, dude. Wrapping around stuff. Oh. Now it's going backward. Backward in a circle. Turning sideways. Yeah, there's some nice green stuff there. He's giving me a tour of the whole slide, basically. focus. There's too much water on the slide. This won't stop moving. I get to the edge of the slide. There you go. You gotta stop. Going backward again. Alright, let's go back. Just try a little bit of oblique lighting here. Get a little pop. Where'd you go? Where'd you go? Where'd you go? Where did you go? Gotta find it again. Where did you go? Hard to hide, but once they get moving, you gotta search the whole damn cell to find them. Oh, there it is. Now it's over here at this stuff. Checking out debris. So now you get a little more of a 3D look with the oblique lighting. Let's go for a snack here. Got some friends nearby too, looks like. Again, these little clusters of debris are some of my favorite places. They just things like to gather there. A little bit less light there. Get some contrast. Very nice. This is like some of the first paramecium shots I got. This kind of oblique lighting, dark field hybrid. It's a really nice look. Look how it's hugging that stuff. That's crazy. There's a contractile vacuum on the back. It's getting ready to pump. And there it goes. So it's funny how the top, the lack of a better term on this guy, the neck is fairly transparent, and a good portion of the rest of the cell is very chock full of goodies. It's much more opaque. But they often have that kind of almost like a squashed lemon shape. And that top often curves a little bit to the side. I've seen that in a lot of images and a lot of video clips. But the classic thing is the coloration. You don't see the coloration here so much because this is an oblique lighting dark field mix. But in a bit I'll go back to the normal bright field and you can see the normal brownish purplish color most of them typically have, as well as the striations running longitudinally. Very nice. I'd love to be able to find a stentor, but I've only had some cultivated ones. I never found any in the wild. Just poking around, looking for goodies. Let's go back to bright field real quick just so you can get a better diagnostic. Oh, that's a nice contrasty bit there. A lot of details. See both contractile vacuoles in the back there. Gonna go boom, boom. There they go. It's going to stay fairly still. I can try a light trick here. Let's go back back to bright field, and you can see more of the typical coloration, striations of one of these dudes. Now it's hard to get the borders at this level without making it really contrasty, as the bright field washes out so much. There you go, there's a nice shot of it there. Get those striations. Lots of vacuoles in there, so those little spheres. That's why it's good to keep changing light styles, because you just get different details popping in and out. Just a little bit more contrast. There's this little dude on the side here. What's going on there? Oh, it's a rotifer. So you see how big the blepharisma is compared to a rotifer. Rotifer's a pretty good size. And this one right, ciliate's right next to it. So roughly 1,000 cells and 1 cell. He'll be around for a while. Let's go check out Mr. Rotifer. They're always fun. This one's planted. He's got the Mastax going to town. He's pumping, pumping, pumping. Let's go a little bit closer so I can enjoy the action shot. Oh yeah, little spinning mouth parts are going nuts. Mastax going crazy. There's the spinning little palps that they have there. One of my instructors in college called this the Norelco Rototract blades, like the old razors. I don't know if you can still buy those these days, but they're popular in the 80s. It's got those 2 spinning lobes with the cilia. So we're looking through one of them to the back side of another one. So you're not quite seeing the Mastax face on. You're seeing the side view, which is I usually don't see the side view. This is kind of cool. Usually the Mastax looks kind of like a coffee bean when you see it face on. Yeah, you're gonna eat dinner, and this guy's gonna eat dinner right now. Good old filter feeding. One of these days I'm gonna get some good isolation shots, zooming in, watching as they take in stuff. See if it's possible to actually pick out individual things they're ingesting, but it's got to be a real challenge. There's so much layers of stuff to look through. But with some light combinations, I might be able to do it. Oh, you just had to retract. Something happened. Also notice this little protuberance he's got sticking out of the bottom. I never noticed that because I always see him from the top down. But he's got a little protuberance there. But he's might be part of the cover mechanism for the little spinning parts. I've never seen this angle before. It's a trip. So he's got his little foot glued onto that structure there. And very much like the Gastrotrix, they have like a little adhesive that you can use to adhere to something. And then a counter adhesive that lets it go. Apparently they can do that at will. So I read some articles on that, but I thought it was just suction, but apparently it's an adhesive. Nice little rotifer. It's cool to see those things spinning around. No worries, Teeny. Thanks for dropping by. Nice to have some company. Well, retracted again. Still getting a partial side view of them, of this guy. Mastack still doesn't have that coffee bean look. It's fun to see all the little parts squishing inside there. All the food it's ingested there. Focus of these mouth parts again, you can see all the structure there. Oh, it keeps getting disturbed and retracting. There you go. There's the coffee bean. Now I'm getting a top-down view of the rotifer. Top-down side view. Go coffee bean. Some pretty good footage of rotifers. I have a bunch of different clips of them. This is some of the better stuff I've shot because I'm able to maintain a close-up view. I'm also getting a side view sometimes, which is kind of different. Sometimes they detach and swim away, and I gotta keep following them. But I like when they camp out. Occasionally I can get a nice view of what they're actually sucking in if I change the dark field. Might do it for this guy. Let's see. Or oblique maybe will show. Kind of. It's not really showing the particles like I hoped. Usually dark field's a little bit better for this. But this objective is not too happy in dark field right now. Nice 3D structures there. Alright, let's go back to a little more normal view. It's so funny because if you saw these guys for the first time, you think, oh look, he's got a little heartbeat there. Well, it's actually part of their pumping eating mechanism for the suction. You can see a few particles here and there, but they're not exposing the same as the rotifer is. So I have some footage of the particles being sucked in as far as like 4 rotifer lengths away or further. He's got such a suction going, he's pulling in all these little particles. It's quite an efficient little apparatus. So yeah, so far this slide is living up to its reputation from that sample source. I'm going to pop out for a bit here and go see if the blepharisma is still there, and it still is, just hanging out. You get them for scale comparison again. You may be able to see the particles here if I change the exposure a tad. Focus in and out. I'm not seeing a lot of particles. Yeah. He's getting some food, but it's not super dense particles of food. Nice little composition there. 2 different characters feeding. Hey, no worries, thanks for dropping by. Come back, because I'm going to do a couple more. This is such a good sample, there's going to be some goodies. I know there will be some goodies. I don't know, lately I'm trying to do this once a week. As you've seen, this is already the 3rd one in less than a week. So this is kind of a crazy week, but I try to get them once a week when I'm on a roll, but I did miss a bunch for a couple weeks with music projects and work and a bunch of other stuff, so but yeah, usually Wednesday nights are pretty good, sometimes Friday if I'm not too tired after a long week, and occasionally on the weekend, so it's hard to pin it down more than that. It really depends on my schedule, so just keep an eye out, and sorry for the last minute stuff, but sometimes it just has to be that way. Today I almost didn't get these samples, so I was happy to get them. So the cilia, I can really see very fine cilia in the eyepieces. But in the camera, it's just not picking them up. They're very, very fine on this blepharisma. Not obvious like they are on a paramecium or something else for some reason. But definitely see them. They just, I don't know, they just seem to be thinner maybe, or just this particular specimen. So that's a nice little collage of these guys. Let's move on to something else. I'm hopeful this slide is going to be very good. So far it's excellent. else we got here? Got some weird debris there. Oh, there we go. Nice, nice, nice. Got, looks like, doesn't look like a Stylonkia. It's a little bit different shape. Very nice. Got some very tiny clusters of cyanobacteria threads in that debris there. The little hairs. Got this guy. Got two of these guys actually. I'm just gonna hang out here and let them swim through. Seen some other little things crawling through the debris here. Damn, lots of little things in there. I might have to zoom in on that too. Where do these guys go? It took off on me. Oh, I'm looking for them later. Let's go zoom in on this. I want to see what's happening here. There's all kinds of stuff happening right here. Lots of little flagellates going nuts with this debris. Chain of those green algae. Looks like a little caterpillar. And there's this guy here. And all these little flagellates going nuts, just bouncing around inside this debris. Little debris here. Very wiggly. And this one, bigger one, slowly poking around here on the side. And it's actually got a lot of structure in it. It's also pretty squishy. You're just going to squeeze through that area. You can see it's long flagellum though. It might be a small euglena. It's definitely got, whoa, there's one of those big guys coming through. It's definitely got the basic shape of, even though it's a small specimen, and it has the super long forward flagellum probing around here. Let's see if I can, nah, I don't want to go to oil. Oil is too messy right now. Let's do another digital zoom. That work. So it's moving through debris, probing around with this long flagellum. You can see that flagellum getting caught up in the debris. It's so long, it's getting all bunched up and coiled. It's pretty small, so it's hard to get a lot more detail than this, but might be a paranema? No, paranema kind of looks like this. But I can't remember if they have the coloration like that, because either this thing ingested some green things or it actually has some chloroplast. It's hard to tell from this angle. Might have some green food vacuoles from something it ate. But yeah, it's got that very forward-facing flagellum. It's probing around, kind of like paranema does. But being all bunched up in this debris, it's hard to tell. He sees a lot of structure. There's a bunch of organelles in there. But now I'm missing this guy's swimming, these big guys swimming around. Let's go back out. See what these big dudes are up to. Let's catch some big dudes. There they are. Swimming, swimming, swimming. Not stopping much. I've seen these before, but I haven't identified them. I'm not exactly sure what they are, but they've got a lot of details inside, a lot of structures, and one of those kind of oral groove zones with lots of cilia in it, like where it takes in the food to make the food vacuoles. Boy, this guy's really on the move. Oh boy, here we go. Come on. Oh, he's also overexposed, sorry. Whoa. Whoa. He's too fast. I should have got the methylcellulose to slow these guys down. Anyway, I'll catch him in a bit. Let's go look at some other stuff. There's another diatom right there. What else we got here? No amoeba yet. No gastrotrick yet. Lots of little flagellates and stuff. Oh, nice. I think that's Amphileptus. These are so cool. Let's zoom in on this guy. Hopefully he hangs out there for a bit so he can get all situated. Yeah, look at that. Long and tapered. It's kind of like a upper part. It's kind of like a. It acts like a proboscis. It's kind of probing around and flexing. Get some more light on this guy. And a better focus. And less digital zoom because he's too big. There we go. Get that hand out of there. And let's focus. And now you can get a nice look at this guy. So I caught this guy in the same spot last time. Really nice little specimen. Do a quick oblique lighting and get a nice 3D quality out of it here. Kind of, it's in and out of different layers. Let's try less of that and more of this. Oh, you get some color too here. This is good. There you go. Go, go. So yeah, told you this was a good sample. Just had to find some goodies in here. I love this this place I get this from every time. It's just consistent. All kinds of good critters. And this is all in one slide so far. I gotta change this objective. I got the wrong objective for the scope. It's got the wrong F ratio on it or something, because it's not playing ball like the other ones are. I got oil in this one by mistake. This is my 100x. Oh no, this is the 400x. So it's my 40 millimeter objective, and I put in the damn oil one day just in a hurry, just wasn't thinking, and it's impossible to clean unless you get it professionally cleaned. So I'm like, you know what, I'll just buy another one. They're not that expensive for this scope, but I bought the one I thought was the right one, but it's got this weird distortions when I focus through it. The F ratio is just kind of off, so I need to get a better placement. Is this affecting my imaging? But this one's fun too. It's just kind of snaking around like some of these guys do. Bending, flexing, flipping around. You can see it curling up different parts, twisting, flopping about. Very flexible. Compared to paramecium, which is pretty rigid most of the time. All squishy, flip-flopping, and then conforming to the curves of the debris. Really fun. Maybe get a little bit different contrast here. The problem is this objective is messing up the image. You can barely see it. I'm going to go back out and have a nice dark field. Get a little more light. And I can do a digital zoom. Is that good enough for this? And you can get a nice view of the color and the shape and all that good stuff. It's not all distorted like the other objective is. See, it conforms to the shape of the debris. Oh, and here comes another visitor. I think it's another one of those little paranema type thingies. Here it comes into frame. Passing the diatom. Oh, not passing the diatom. So he's trying to crawl over the diatom. There's a big barrier there. Come on, man, you can do it. Apparently there's no space below the diatom. It can't do a limbo. It's trying. Just go around, dude. There you go. You got through there. Let's see, the flagellum is forward like it's searching with it. Almost like it's using a cane. It's like a little feeler. Now it's coming to join the party. I'm going to have to zoom in a bit more so I can enjoy this angle. And you can see the flagellum there. If I defocus a little bit, you can see it a little bit, kind of. And it's had enough of that area, he's gone away. I'm going to stick with this guy. Let's try a little oblique Latin. There we go. A little more detail. A little more 3D. So yeah, this is a nice little specimen. Very cool. Let's keep looking. There's more good stuff to see. And we got a nematode. Who doesn't want to see a thrashing nematode? It's tunneling through that stuff. This might be a piece of the shrimp bits that the crustaceans that the flamingos are eating. It's got that color to it. As you know, flamingos get their color from their food. So if you fed them a different kind of shrimp without the right pigment, they wouldn't be pink. Alright. Oh, nice. One of these guys again. Yeah. I haven't identified this one either. But I have several streams of this guy swimming around for a while, petering out, contractile vacuoles stop, and then it starts to inflate with water, and then it pops. It's a nice big, pretty big specimen. This is still 400 power. Oh wait, no, this is only 100 power, sorry. It's a pretty good size one. Also very squishy. You see when it pushes into that debris? Very squishy. Luckily it's staying in the same focal plane. I don't have to keep focusing too much because that's really a pain. Loves to spin around, change direction, spin around some more. Whoa, it goes crazy. Really nice. Unfortunately the camera doesn't do it justice, and the eyepiece, the layers of particles inside this guy when it moves around and it tumbles. It's just a lot of 3D structures. Really cool to check it out. And an actual eyepiece instead of just a camera. So much your eye can discern so much more detail than the camera can in this kind of view. So cool. See how it tumbles there? It looks like one of those snow globes with all the particles dancing around inside of it. Beautiful. And you see different colors from stuff at 8. The food vacuoles. There's some orange and some pink or red. There's some yellow, green. But it's really dense. Also the cilia at this viewing style can make it look sparkly as well, because you're seeing cilia edge on as it's tumbling, and it can get kind of a sparkly look to it too. So cool. Alright, dude, we've got enough of you doing your antics, flipping about. Again, it's like a video game. Okay, what else we got here? Blepharismus still there doing its thing, and so does Mr. Rotifer. Hello, Mr. Rotifer. Very nice. So this is a good guy. He just stays in the same place. Very easy to study. Even in the dark field of oblique lighting, you can still see the striations in there. It's a diagnostic of this guy. Okay, keep going, keep going. Nothing there, just some color. There's another one of those little amphileptus dudes squiggling through the debris. this long, tapered body. In this case, of course, it's a single cell, but it looks like a body and a neck. There's a little flagellate bouncing around the outside. There's more of that green colonial algae. There's several spheres of green colonial algae hanging out there. That's always fun. Nothing good here, just a bunch of threads of cyanobacteria. Oh, another blepharisma right by a beautiful green cluster of stuff. Very nice, look at that. So flexible, look how it flips that front edge like it's kind of rippling in the wind. Oh, there's that other guy again. Let's see with these for a little bit. There's a good size comparison. Not sure what this one is, but it's pretty big. It's about almost the size of a blepharisma. So, nice little comparison there. I'll just leave it here for a bit. Get some nice footage. There we go. Very nice. And it's back. Where are you going? You can see the center part has this kind of a V shape. There's a kind of a void and then a V shape going down. That's like the oral groove kind of gullet thing. Kind of similar like a paramecium has, but a different shape. And the food is funneled down in there, and then they make contractile vacuoles at the cell membrane. Brought in as like little, essentially little micro stomachs. A vacuole contained food, it contained digestive enzymes for other functions, like these things called peroxisomes. It can contain other materials. This guy again. Now I can't get rid of him. Before he was running away from me. Now he's everywhere. Okay, what else we got? It's a really good slide. As predicted. More little flagellates. Lots of little debris fields here with goodies. Diatom there. Some debris. More cyanobacteria filaments. Looks like little hairs. Also known as blue-green algae. It's structurally like a chain of bacteria, basically. They're prokaryotes. Not eukaryotes like standard nucleated cells like we have and like these ciliates have. In the case of the cyanobacteria, they also have pigments, so they can also make their own food like regular algae does. And some of them can be quite green. Oscillatoria is a really famous cyanobacterium. I had some on my last stream. Big old rods. And had the euplodes kind of climbing up and down on like their tree trunks. There's Amphileptus again. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. I have to verify the genus, but they've got this classic look to them and they're very flexible. Look at that thing. It's like Plastic Man or Mr. Fantastic, whatever. He stretches out. The top of the body is like a tendril. Really fascinating. To probe around all these little nooks and crannies. So these single cells can be really elaborate sometimes. Look how long that thing gets. It's crazy. It's like an elephant's trunk. It's totally nuts. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit digitally here, because if I go too far on the other one, I'm going to lose my perspective on the, it's going to get a distorted view. So we'll sacrifice a little quality for the better close-up. See how long that essentially forms like a proboscis with part of its body. Yeah, the zoom's not too good there. Let's go back a bit. There you go. Really cool. And the back end, even though it's more stubby, it's also pretty flexible. See, it's shoving that back into a little crevice. But the front of the body, the front of the cell is really, really flexible. I think it's the most flexible ciliate I've ever seen. It's crazy. Euglena is a pretty interesting flexible flagellate, but it doesn't have. It has a long flagellum. This is a ciliate, yet it has this long, extended portion of the body that can form this basically like a proboscis. This is nuts. Alright, let's keep going. The slide's going to dry up pretty soon. This beautiful green patch there. Diatoms. Oh, is that Euplotes on a diatom? Look at that. Just a little dance around it. Alright, I might have to go in for a close-up on that one. That's too cute. Let's see if we can get a close-up. Yay, look at him go. Up and down the diatom. So it's not Euplotes, but it's kind of acting like it a little bit. It's more swimming around it than walking on it, but it's a similar behavior. Going all around it. But you can see it's going behind it because the diatom's transparent. Pretty cool. Oh, sorry. Light levels are bad. I should be looking at the monitor here. Look at that guy do his little dance around the... So it's not walking on it like Euplotes does, it's kind of swimming behind it. But it's still a cool effect. You can see the teeth on the diatom, the raphe structure. Like little teeth on a comb. Very nice. Through it so you can see all the structure there, some depth. Get that damn hand out of there, I'm sorry. So still swimming behind it. You can see it it's like looking through a lens, because that is glass material. It's the shell of the diatom called the test. It is made of silica, and when they die, you know, they form powder out of the millions and millions and millions of dead diatoms. It's called diatomaceous earth. They use it as a filtering agent in swimming pools. That powder you buy, the big bag of powder. Assuming they still do that in pools. It's been a while since I cleaned pools, but. Yeah, that shell lasts a long time and can be used as an abrasive, as a filtering agent. If you look up diatomaceous earth, it's all over the place. Okay, let's do a quick ambient change here. And it just took off. It's had enough. And that's my cue to move on to something else before the slide dries up. Yep, there's the wavefront. Water is moving across. Get my last looks in before the slide starts to dry up. And you can see it's pushing stuff along with it. There's a little stack of cells from something. Here comes Blepharisma. He doesn't know the impending doom. There's huge vacuoles in this guy. Look at that. Tons of huge vacuoles in there. But he doesn't know the impending doom of the water slide starting to dry up and the wavefront of water coming across. Here it comes. No! Blepharisma! Get back! There it comes. Coming from that side, coming from that side. On the top. The debris will block it. What happens often is the water goes around it, envelops it, makes a little pocket. And the little poor guy gets trapped in there. Oh, he's getting surrounded on all sides. Here it comes. I'm zoomed in a bit so you can't see it all, but the walls are closing in on all sides here. No, Blepharisma! No! Oh, now he's getting squashed into the... That's not fun. Sorry, buddy. Now, it's not dead, but it's kind of trapped. They are very flexible, but now it's pinned against the debris. And being pinned like that, it's like having your foot stuck, so it's trying to get out, but it doesn't have any leverage. And you can see the walls are continuing to shrink, shrink, shrink as the slide dries up, so. This is not for entertainment purposes, it's just part of life. You know, ponds dry up and lakes dry up and puddles dry up. This is what a lot of these poor animals have to go through. But, oh, it got out, but it has nowhere to go, see? Now it's bound to a zone. And that zone is shrinking. Much like that episode of Next Generation where Dr. Crusher gets stuck in a smaller shrinking space inside of a warp bubble. So it's trying to go, but it has nowhere to go. I'll leave it a little longer so you guys can see what happens, but I basically do my best to rescue it. I'll flush it back into the sample bottle so it doesn't stay squashed. But it is kind of fascinating how they can handle these changing environments. And it doesn't know where to go. Don't stay there, because what's going to happen is that's going to pinch off, and it's really going to be trapped. It's better to stay in the open space, even though it's really a lost cause at this point, because that's going to pinch off, that's going to pinch off, and so is that. It already pinched off down here a bit. But it's blocked, it can't go through this debris, and that's a dead end down there, basically. Where this guy's already been captured down here. And this is actually taking a long time. Sometimes it's quicker than this. The area to shrink. Focus through, look at all those vacuoles inside there. There's a busy boy making vacuoles. Look at that front edge, is very thin, just kind of flops around, probing stuff. take a long time. Usually this wavefront comes in and just compresses right the hell in. I think the debris right there is slowing that pinch. It's fighting against that piece of debris there for a while. And this debris is slowing this down a little bit, so I actually got lucky. And this debris is slowing this one from going much further. So it's kind of got some natural protection here from the debris. But it won't last. Just trying to find a way to go. Doesn't know that it's trapped, obviously, because it can't see. And it can't tell its surroundings that much on this scale, so just kind of trying to find a way to go to do some other good stuff. And it can't go. See how they can kind of bunch up though? Kind of like how Euglena can do it, where they just kind of go squish and become more round and bulbous compared to the normal shape. Still trying to figure it out. Can't go that way. Definitely can't go that way. That's the way it came out. But they also don't have much of a, it's a very simple micro nervous system in these things, like the most primitive sensation of these kind of critters. The stentors actually have a much bigger complex organisms. They have a much, there's a display at a maker fair. These guys are studying stentors and their ability to remember. And the fact of remembering danger like stimulus. And so when a stentor feels a vibration that's a certain strength, they'll actually contract. Much like this guy kind of forms to a ball occasionally and comes back out again. The stentor will really contract from this long trumpet tubular kind of straight shape to quickly crush down to like a kind of a much smaller structure and then open up again. Well, it's a very expensive thing to do that unless you really need that protection from the environment or predators or whatever. So to do that repeatedly for just what's considered noise, repetitive bumps to a table or stress to the environment, they can actually learn to ignore that. If it's a regular thing and they're not getting any damage, they will stop responding to it. And they'll remember it for a while. The patterns you give them and the frequency and all that. And then after a while they won't remember that and they'll start scrunching up again. So kind of a simple experiment in kind of a sense memory thing. Interesting little experiment the guys were doing. There was a paper on a bunch of other stuff about it. That was the basic gist of it. But just to see that in person in the little display they had with live specimens, and sure enough, after a while they ignore it. They ignore it, they ignore it, they ignore it, and you stop for a while. And you start up again, they ignore it, and then you make the period longer, until pretty soon they're like, okay, new stimulus, time to be scared again. Basically roll up into a protective thing to not get injured until they develop the lack of sensitivity to the pattern. So it's pretty cool. You just don't think about that with these more primitive creatures, but that's part of the survival skills. But yeah, I've never caught wild stentors. Only had lab provided specimens. They're also nicknamed the Horn of Plenty because they look like a long kind of trumpet flower looking tubular structure, kind of like the famous Horn of Plenty from Thanksgiving, or the Doomsday Machine from the original Star Trek series, the big cone in space, the planet killer. Yeah, it's still not moving anywhere. I've never seen this amount of debris reinforce a dehydration area. this guy's just happy as can be. This little structure. No sign of shrinking any further. So I'm shocked. To the point where I think the rest of the slide is pretty much borked. So I'm going to let this guy be, wash him back into the sample. But I'll do a quick survey just to see if there are any other zones that survived. Probably not. So here's the diatom. It's got its own little envelope. It's basically in a pocket. That debris is in a pocket. The wavefront's moving that way too. So this debris didn't get touched yet. There's pretty much a blepharism over here too, I think. Or did I already pass it? You can see the crystallization of the solutes in the water, making little mountain ranges over there. Let's go back down to this area. There's one of those little, where did I see that? Yeah, this guy's blissfully just swimming around like nothing's wrong. No slide drying up around here. Oh, there's one of these guys gonna get caught. Look at that. He's on a zone that's gonna get caught. Let's change the lighting so you can get a little more dramatic. You can see the wavefront coming in. So above and below is all dehydrated, and that's going to pinch off. And he's going to get pinched. See that little area is going to pinch. And if it doesn't get out quickly, it's going to get trapped in that debris and compressed. It's got a narrow margin, and it's not going for it. So it's going to get compressed. Sorry, dude, you didn't get out in time. Now I can't leave. It's too tight of a space. That water surface tension's pretty strong. These guys, they can push and squish, but it's really hard to fight. At this scale these critters are at, it's really hard to fight that surface tension. It's a big wall of surface tension. Yeah, now it's closing in. And it's going to pinch. And here we go. It's going to butt off at that pinch zone. Gives a little pop. Or it goes bing. Usually happens anyway. And the poor guy is going to be confined to a little box that's shrinking. There it goes, it just popped. And he's got a little more to go before he gets squashed into that thing. So like the blepharism you saw earlier, I'm going to wash him down into the sample so he doesn't get totally squashed. But it is pretty fascinating how they, poor things, this is what happens in a drying pond or drying lake bed or puddles that you see in the street all the time after rain, so these guys can be living. These ephemeral little pools, sometimes they just don't, they thrive for a while and then they get squashed as the thing dries up. So now it really can't move. It's not squashed that much yet, but it basically cannot move. And that debris in the corner is keeping it from going too far, but it should squeeze into the debris shortly. Yep, there it goes. It's gonna squash it in there. Now it's not dead, it's just changing shape. They are soft-bodied, so they can move around a little bit, but It's basically not happy. It's completely pinned. And that's about it. So let's get it out of there. Wash it back into the sample. And this is such a good water sample. I'm going to get another sample. All right. Make this the last one of the night because I got to get some sleep. But I'm curious what else I could find. This is a great slide so far, or a sample set at least. Sample number 4. Already got some action here. Oh, no, it's just settling out. Okay. Get a little more light in here. Let's start at the side. Nothing lingering there. That's one we saw earlier that said looked like a snow globe, but it was swimming around. I think. Yeah. Kind of like a cold capsule shape. Fairly nondescript markings, but a good size. This is 100 power. Very active, swimming around. Had these guys on a few live streams. I'm not sure the species though, or at least the genus. So very nice though. Let's do another sweep here. What else we got? Plant parts, debris, nothing swimming through it. There we go. That's another one of those. Well, this one's a little bit different, I think. Yeah. Nice. This one's definitely had some food. It's got some colorful vacuoles inside of stuff that it ate. But it's way too much in and out of the up and down in the water field. The Z-axis is just too much focusing. It's really hard to get a good view of it. But see, it's swimming like a flagellate. It's back and forth, kind of wobbly. It's a nice little specimen, but I don't know what it is. Just way too much up and down movement. We've got this debris field here. filaments and stuff. Oh, what do we got here? Some algae threads there. Got some little flagellates kind of popping around in the debris. Oops. Let's try that. Some nice colors, but not so much compared to the last slide. The last slide was amazing. Always gotta check the debris. Those little things lurking in here. Nice, look at that. Some nice aquatic algae there with little branches coming off it there. Not sure what that one is. Very colorful though. Flagellates poking through debris here. They just love these debris fields. Looks like my little buddy Amphileptus is in there too. Likes those little debris fields as well. Very nice. Similar to the last slide, just a lot less stuff. More debris. Yeah, cool. Well, that's a pretty good run tonight. I want to make it shorter. Oh, you're back. Nice salad, huh? Cool. I bet you had some nice critters on your salad too. Yeah, it's way later than I wanted to go. I gotta get some sleep, but got some good stuff when you're away, so definitely go back and check. Some nice little specimens and behaviors and stuff. It's all a blur now. I can't remember what I saw after you left, but yeah, it's pretty good. That last slide was the best. This one was just okay. Last slide had a boatload on it, and then I showed the dehydration of a slide as the wavefronts come in. The water is going away, and you just get these walls of water coming in and basically confining these poor guys to little pockets. And then I was kind and took it off before I totally dried up and smashed them and rinsed them back into the sample so they don't have a horrible thing like animals in the wild would normally have. They don't get someone to help them out. The puddle would dry up, the pond would dry up, the lake would dry up, and they just get squashed in a little pocket of water or an air bubble. So, yeah, good stuff. Very nice specimens from the zoo today. So, thanks for dropping by. Thanks for anyone who comes and watches after the fact. Feel free to leave comments as usual. If you watch the stream, any questions you have. As usual, I found a few things I still don't know what they are exactly, but I'll have to do some research one of these days and figure some of those out. But so nice specimens, nice behavior, good fun. So thanks again as usual, and I'll probably have another one within a week or so. We'll see. I've done like 3 already in less than a week, so gotta space it out a little bit more. I was just playing catch up from missing a few weeks of streams. But thanks again all, and always stay curious, have some fun out in nature, and yeah, like I said, stay tuned, ask questions if you have any, and I'll be seeing you. Thanks everybody, catch you later.